You're yours.
I hit it harder than everybody.
Well, I don't want to break it. They cost
Listing them off, sends employees, and then they go to South. They've been. My dad's the best friend.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the public hearing for liquor license renewals for the bars here in Glen Rock open. Is there any comments by anybody to be made about the liquor license renewals? Hearing none, I guess I will close the public hearing. Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any additions or deletions? Okay. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes for June 27, 2022?
I move we approve the minutes from June 27th, 2022.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Reports. Councilman Moulton.
I have none at this time.
Councilwoman Collins.
Nothing, just attended a Joint Powers meeting last Wednesday in Douglas. That's it.
Okay. All right, since Randy's not here this evening, I'll let you know that we had the walkthrough at the Boys and Girls Club building today. There's a few items there that for the punch list. Most of it's just some touch-up. There are a couple of things that have not arrived yet, but we're waiting. I think the longest one out is that division wall between the two classrooms, and they say that estimated ship date's still 8 weeks out. But the rest of the padding for the walls of the gym came in today. The painting company that's supposed to put all the striping on the floors in the gym, the major line striping, that company was supposed to show up this afternoon to start working on that. They said the logo for the middle of the floor is probably a little further out it says Boys and Girls Club that go in the middle of the basketball court. But other than that, it's really looking nice. They've done a real nice job over there. So the punch list didn't look like it'd be very long at all. So
What's kind of a ballpark for dates for a grand opening or a grand opening?
Well, what I've been told, we got an email back from Boys and Girls Club today about the lease that we sent to them. They're sending it to their legal, and then they'll get back with us. My understanding is once they turn that, they're supposed to be done by the 15th. Basically, it's the final date on the building itself, except for the punch list out. So then they can start cleaning up across the street. But after that, Boys and Girls Club will start working on moving their furnishings in. And my understanding is they'd like to get it ready to go and open before school starts.
That'd be awesome.
Good.
So that's where that's at. But I'm telling you, we were in there today. Nice looking building. We can be proud of doing that project for our kids here in the town of Glen Rock, getting that done. So,
I'm sorry, did you say something about agreement?
yeah, we have a lease agreement. What's that?
We got an agreement with him yet, or?
Yeah, we've sent them a lease agreement. They're looking at it right now. The lease is $1 a year on it, and it's fairly thick. It was, a normal lease deal, and we review it every year so everybody's happy, make sure everything's going along fine. It's theirs. They will take care of all of it. They pay all the bills. They have to keep the building up. Any remodels, they have to contact us. If they decide to leave, then they have to turn the building back in good condition with just some normal wear and tear back to the town of Glen Rock. So, but I think that's just a normal lease. It's had a lot more in it than I wanted to put in it, but but we have the attorneys involved in that, so we cover a lot of things. But that's out to them, and they just sent us an email. Like I said, Brandy Pop sent us an email this morning. They're sending it to their legal firm, and will be back to us shortly. So Nice looking building, though. It's turned out well inside. So, Councilman Kincaid. I almost called you somebody else.
I don't know, what were you going to call me?
Nothing bad.
Don't really have a report, but I've been doing some work the last week and a half on like a survey, talking to citizens on wants and needs for our community. Interesting things that people are coming up with, and some things I'm familiar that we do need. But overall, a lot of people are very happy with things going on in town right now. But I'm going to have a report for council in the town at the next meeting on, I'm going to do another week of this survey on just talking to folks, and then people listening and stuff, they could contact me too if they want to, if they have things that they want to ask me or needs that they want or wants. So it's kind of interesting. It's fun to do. Usually we sit up here and we wait for people to call us or something, something going on, but it's neat to go out and just talk to people. One of the big things, and I was going to talk to Randy about it, but he's not here, are streets, okay, our neighborhood streets. And
Do you want me to say anything on that for you?
yeah, and so Bruce, he's not going to be here today, so I did ask Bruce about it, and there's some concerns. I went walking today through the neighborhoods like Bridger Crossing and Fort Fetterman and Fort Laramie, and I know that we've got monies now for that, and
That
he can expand on a little bit more. So
Okay, that project down there has gone out for bid. That's the AML project is finally done down there on the west end of Oregon Trail. So that project for all street overlays to road and mill it out, we got a couple of the short ones in there that will have to probably go clear to dirt and recompact and put some road base down. There's some concerns on 2 short streets in there, but knowing the fact that that's what was going on for street overlays and new sidewalks where it needs to be in that area, we budgeted that into this fiscal year, but Randy and I were concerned about some of the cost and the cost of asphalt oil going up and stuff. So 2 weeks ago we went to the AML. We have a weekly meeting with the AML and the Briley Associates on the stuff going on with AML, and we all went and walked that, and they agreed to give us an additional $200,000 for the overlays in Oregon Trail. And I know we're getting some complaints about the roads up into Sunup Ridge.
Yeah.
We've been talking to them about that, but that's where the next, I think, 3 projects are. So your main Sunup Ridge Road is damaged, and they're trying to work better at any drilling in the streets to be on the edge of the street instead of all over the street. But they're just going to have to do what they have to do. But
Right.
when those projects down the road, and they'll get quite a bit done this year. But the main haul road up there is Sunup Ridge Road, so that one's going to be a few years before it gets totally repaired, unless we have to do some patching. Some spots really break out, but that'll be the next deal, is working with the EML and Brierley when they get close to done with the mitigation work up there, then we can repair those streets.
oh, thank you. Well, these folks down there will be happy to hear that. So
Yeah,
just
that's all getting looked at right now, and it's out for bid, and we should be getting bids back in the next week or 2, and then we'll,
Good deal.
Randy will open them and we'll award the contract for that. So Oregon Trails will be getting fixed before too long,
Thanks.
if that helps.
That really did help. And that's all I got.
Okay. Councilman Nunn.
Ah, yes, the senior citizen parking lot. A new parking lot is coming to the Senior Citizen Center in 8 to 10 weeks, as construction has started on a $700,000 project, all paid for by the Senior Center. The plan is to take the parking lot out and rebuild it. During construction, there is no access to the front entrance of the building, with access and parking all on the back side of the building. Should be a great improvement when finished, and certainly needed to be done. And I found it delightful to go to the back side of the building. I'd never been there before. They have a beautiful garden back there. It's really pretty back in there. It's fun to walk through it. Town Square. The new rules posted at Town Square should help maintain a safe facility for all. I have been asked some questions about the rules, including 1, are the rules based on town ordinances? 2, are there any consequences for repeat offenders, and 3, who is going to enforce the rules on a daily basis. This is all part of a new learning curve, and I'm sure we will get it figured out and running okay. Campaign signs. Still appears to be some confusion on Wyoming Statute 22-26-113, electioneering too close to a polling location. I believe Tammy has the information to clarify that issue. The Glenrock Golf Club. Thanks to the Glenrock Golf Club for offering a seasonal membership to town employees. Their offer includes this seasonal membership will cover the green fees for anyone who wants to come and enjoy a nice day on the course. This membership is good for 4 golfers on the course at a time, and I believe we're still doing some consideration on that. Thanks to the crew, the staff, and the volunteers at the golf course who have developed this beautiful recreational facility. The golf course is participating in the Harvest Host program, where RV travelers can make arrangements with the course to camp in the parking lot overnight at no cost, hopefully play a round of golf, and give Glenrock some positive publicity. They also will support local business community if they purchase fuel or decide to eat locally. Kind of a neat program. Something rather interesting is a taxing issue where it appears that one employee driving a town vehicle home is being taxed and other employees are not. It seems that we should address this in a matter that is consistent concerning any employee driving town vehicles, so please keep the council informed on the ultimate resolution of this issue. Senior citizens. The issue concerning the generation loss at the senior citizen was brought to the floor of the council at the last meeting, and it does not appear to have been further addressed. It does seem that the staff at the center should receive an apology from the town for some unfortunate communication, and that all parties involved in this issue need to sit down together to resolve the situation and a final resolution in writing. And some very exciting news. Jared has an exciting a piece of equipment up and ready to use. Hope you'll give us some details on that. Thank you.
Just to answer some of your stuff, we have part of the people I needed to talk to were gone last week since the last meeting, so we are talking about what's going to happen with the generator and backup power up there, and we will be setting a meeting with pretty soon with the administration of the senior not the barber apartments, but the senior center to get that ironed out. We have been working on the situation because we had some questions arise about vehicles going home, who can and who can't, and what we considered was first response doesn't meet part of the Wyoming state statute, so we are still getting all that information together. We've been working on that for just over a month, and as soon as we get a final decision on what we need to do there, then we will hold a meeting or bring it out in council and tell you what we have to or need to do with that.
Thank you.
And what was the other one that you asked, Margaret?
Oh, were there any concerns about the new rules down at the town?
The new rules that goes up, and that gives the ability for those to be enforced, and they will be enforced by Town of Glenrock's law enforcement, if need be.
Are they based on town ordinances? That was specifically asked to. I don't know.
They fall under application that they would be able to enforce what we're asking to be, how to take care of the park.
And are there any consequences to back any of this up in any way?
I'm sure if it gets bad enough, I'm sure they can be cited and brought to city court and be fined.
I think just add, I think that we want to put, we talked a little bit about putting in no smoking. That was not put on there because of the cigarette butts and things getting thrown around down there. That's something we can add. But that is probably going to be an ordinance change.
Yeah,
we'll have to change that because there is an ordinance on smoking.
Yeah, so We have it for inside our building. We haven't, I don't know if we can, if that would cover that down there or not.
I don't know.
We'll have to ask, we can check with Muni Code on that and also legal counsel.
Thank you.
But that's where those are at.
Well, would I give people answers?
And the other one is, we are waiting to find out from legal and WHAM whether or not we can, it's nice that the golf course offered that golfing membership, but we need to make sure that it's not a gratuity and whether or not we can accept it or not and use it. So, moving on. Tammy, clerk.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As far as the campaigning issue goes, I wanted to clarify that sounds very loud. The signs that are out there are fine. Apparently, the statute says that they can't be within 100 yards on polling days.
So they'll have to be pulled the day of.
They'll have to be pulled the day of the primary
Primary.
and the day of the
Okay.
and yeah. So
I didn't see too many that close anywhere.
yeah, and so everybody's good.
Yeah.
There are no issues with any of the signs that are out. So yeah.
We were just covering that because also what was brought up to us during the Deer Creek Days celebration that we had people doing campaigning on public property of the town square, and if you look under that, under state statute, we okayed it, but actually can't campaign on city-owned, county-owned, or state-owned property.
You can't
place.
You
Yeah.
can't place campaign
Yeah.
signs.
There's some gray area there, but we told them that we accepted the fact that we were asked to do that. We didn't have a problem with it, so we kind of covered that. I know that they're going to allow some to go on down at the Wyoming State Fair this year. There's some gray areas there, but
Fairs are
If it-
fairs are exempted.
Yeah, so-
Statute.
we just wanted to let everybody know that because that was brought up to me by several people, and I just said we said it was fine, so left it at that till we could find out the rest of the information. So, any other questions for Tammy? If not, we'll move on to Kelly, treasurer.
Mayor and council, I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
New face in the crowd up front, building inspector Lyle Hunt.
That was easy. Kelly. So, good evening. 71 building permits issued to date. The middle school completed a new boiler install. High school's still working on their new exhaust system for the shop class. Trails apartment still full swing. The Boys and Girls Club walked through today. That it looks pretty nice. It's going to be a great facility, so that closed up pretty well. Sent out compliance letters last week, and I heard from quite a few people, so that's a good thing. So I welcome anybody to call me if they got questions when they get a letter. Usually they don't know, sometimes they don't know what it's about, but call me if you got any issues. UL listing should wrap up tomorrow. Guy's supposed to be here, so that'll be a great day. I'll be glad to get that done. And then looked into some new compliance software for the cloud that we use, the Black Cloud. It's a tracking system for compliance.
You mean for Black Mountain?
Yeah, Black Mountain.
It's kind of a black cloud, but go
It
ahead.
is kind of a Black Cloud, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, looking at that system, so that might help keep track of things.
Might help smooth things out for you a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. So, that's all I got.
Lyle, you gave us these definition things at the last meeting.
No, I didn't.
You did?
I did.
John gave. Okay, because can you answer what these are, John?
Well, just changing some of the verbiage, like on, especially the one on the R1, it doesn't it says building, the size of the building. When there's no building on the lot, how do you know what size the building is? Lyle was going to send that to planning and zoning and kind of get their blessing on it and see what they thought about it.
I think we run it through
Garrett had a
them
chance to look at it.
and let them, because it is confusing. I agree that there's a little bit of wording that could be cleaned up, so we're going to run it through them and see what we come up with.
I think we didn't have a planning and zoning for July this last
Right.
week, so hopefully we can maybe address that in August.
Yeah, it's on the schedule for that. So.
Any other questions for Lyle? Not, we'll move on to Mandy with Community Development.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Let's see, so I know, Margaret, to finish to answering your question about is there consequence. So Coulter and I have reached out to the rec center as well to work with them for kids that can't go there for a week or up to 3 weeks because they've done something there to not be able to go to the rec center. So we're working on a list. So if they can't go to the rec center, they're not, going to just come down to the town square. So we're working on, if you vandalize or do something at one facility, then both facilities will be out for that time period. So working on that with Coulter and the rec center and seeing what we can do there. So, when we do have these little issues of vandalism, messes, because I think it's messes. The kids, whether it's squash brownies or dumping sodas or, playing with stuff in the bathrooms or dumping stuff in the bathrooms. So, Jared got the cameras up, which is helping, and, keep training with the girls and, being down there and helping and getting the kids to work with us to make this, proud of their, their place that they get to hang out. So make them be the leaders, and let them show the other kids how to be leaders of the community to take care of that facility down there. So that's what we've been working on.
Basically,
that.
give them some ownership in it.
Yeah, because if they, they don't take the ownership or the pride, then, it's not going to be a beautiful facility like it is now. So we're really working with those kids to help us, not, work with us. So that's that. Also on July 26th, the American Legion wants to do a Meet the Candidates thing down at Town Square. Just so you guys are aware, Christy Grant's working on that. So when we get more details, we'll pass that on to you guys and make sure we're all good with that. They won't be doing signs. It'll just be a night of meet and greets with the candidates that are running. I met with the Wyoming Business Council to start working on a few things. We're working on abate and asbestos grants that are out there, specifically for the Lincoln Building, but also these other buildings that are out here too, whether we decide to tear them down or we decide we still need to know if there's asbestos and what's out there. So they're working on that, and also our strategic planning. So again, helping with surveys, asking the community. So that would be great, Roy, to work with you and see where you're at with that, and then continuing that through, if we decide to go through the Wyoming Business Council to help us with that too.
Yeah, because we're looking at renewing you always need to update the strategic plan. You try to go out to have something out almost 25 years, and it needs to be looked at periodically.
Yeah, and so ours is out.
So
can get
she'll be
together on
getting a
that.
bunch of she'll send a lot of stuff out to get as much information from the community like they did the last time. One of the last things we really did well was in the last one was doing something for the community and our kids, and that Town Square really took care of a lot of that. So.
Yeah, we have accomplished a lot of our goals on there, so now it's time to reset some new goals. So,
and that's kind of why I did it, because I know there's things out there that.
Yeah, we need to reach out to the community and see what the needs are, the wants are, and set some more goals. So we're going to be working on with that with Hannah Seabaum, and then also with the Wyoming Business Council. So my hope is that maybe in August we can really use Friday night squares, reach out to the senior center and see if we can't do something there, the rec center, to really reach out to a lot of our community. So, yeah, that's about it.
I do hope, Mandy, that all the council people have gone down and met your staff down there. You have a really nice staff of young people with a nice attitude working down there.
Yes, they're hard workers.
And they're very helpful.
Yes.
Very nice young people.
Yes. And also, speaking of tomorrow night, we have a concert. Jim Abbott's coming tomorrow. He's a musician / storyteller. So we're excited to see how a Tuesday night concert goes, with no beer wagon, but with free root beer floats. Wow. And that's being sponsored by Wyoming Signs. So come down, join us tomorrow from 6 to 8. And then we have Sarah Carper coming in on Friday night, which she's another up-and-coming great country singer. So join us on Friday night, too. And that's exciting, too. Friday nights is kind of picking up. We're seeing more vendors, and we're seeing more people. And, as we're growing, with just the concept catching on Fridays at the square. But Jared, the TV, the sound is like amazing. Like you just sit back down there and you're just like in awe about all the cool stuff that's going on that Glen Rock is offering. So thank you to IT. Thanks for all your help and your support and Public Works. And that's about all I have.
Okay. Our chief of police went on vacation this week. Only took some days off, so good for him.
Good for him.
So we'll move on to IT. Jared.
Yeah, evening, Mayor and Council. We'll see if this works right off the bat. I do have. So big news is that the screen got installed last week. This is us using it with Josh Kirks. A background image he had. Yeah, so that is one of the many uses we plan on using for it. Obviously movie nights will be a big deal. We've had people approach us and talk about doing karaoke, and so you could do video karaoke and stuff like that, have videos playing in the background. We've talked about obviously video game nights and stuff like that. I know that the library does video game competitions, and we've talked with them a little bit about using the town square as like the championship arena kind of idea and some stuff like that. So lots of possibilities. It's really bright. If you get a chance to come see it, I mean it'll be usable at any time of the day, which is was the whole intent, and so that'll be really handy and helpful. And it's literally just an HDMI in. I mean, it's pretty much a giant TV, so we can take almost any input and just put it in there and go to town. So along with that, we also were able to get some new speed signs up out and around town. I was able to get one installed on all the entrances. I got the last two installed today, so we've got new signs on the south entrance, one by the cemetery, one over there on the east entrance, and then the west entrance. I did replace the one that was kind of falling off the sign over there. So they're all three the same now. They're the same from the same company that did the trailer for the police department. So really neat technology. They all have SIM cards in them. They talk back to the cloud and report on all the data that they get and speeds that they get, and you can pull reports on it. They do take pictures, but not very good ones, because obviously when you're zooming through there, it's kind of difficult for the sign to recognize, oh, that's somebody speeding, and then take a picture real quick. Usually it's either kind of the side of the car or whatever, but it does have pictures, that it can do. We found that they're not very useful or helpful.
They're really bright, though. I mean, they're like,
yeah.
Boom.
Well, and what they do is we've got them dialed in right now to where there's a strobe in these ones. So what you'll notice is if you're going 10 over the speed limit, there's a little white LED that'll sit there and strobe at you to kind of alert. Under that 10, I think up till about 5 over, it'll flash the numbers, and then from about 5 to the speed limit, it just is steady. So if it's flashing at you, that usually means you're going way too fast. And hopefully the one up here for the south entrance kind of helps people as they're coming down the hill.
Those speed signs are really,
you're going 65, then you hit the 30 right at the top of the hill, and it's kind of tough. And if you're, for some people, new people to the area, not paying attention, so maybe that'll kind of help them as they're coming down that hill. So
you're telling us, Jared, not to hang your head out the window and wave at the little bleeper.
Well, if you're going fast, you might get your picture taken, but it may not, depends on what fingers you're using to wave.
Oh, okay.
How big the fine is.
Right.
10 over is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
That's about it for me.
Okay. Well, we won't put you on the spot, but I was going to ask you for a report, but I didn't think you were probably ready, Stephen. Since we didn't have the chief this evening. So we'll move, if the next item is items from the floor. Is there any items from the floor this evening?
Good evening. This is Sharon, and I represent Abate tonight, among other things, but I'm going to bring up a few things. The governor will be here the first day of the Hog Fest, which is July 29th. He is arriving at 2:45, and his office has offered an extension invitation to the council, city council, anybody in the city council that would like to be there, because I guess there's going to be some publicity. So if any of you, we're opening the invitation. If any of you would like to come, I know Bruce is going to be off fishing, but the rest of you, if you'd like to come, we offer that invitation.
It's going to be out at South Rec. He's going to be out.
South Rec. Yeah, he'll meet us out there. Mileage Mike set this all up before he was in the accident and died. And so it's really an honor. You know, I don't think the governor's ever been there at a Hog Fest, have they?
No, we
I
have.
know.
We've invited him, and he couldn't make it before, but
Yeah, so
That's
it's
nice.
really awesome. So and I have something else. Yesterday I was driving down the street, and I'm a putzer. I never go the speed limit. I'm a putzer, and where the street where the Lincoln Building is and the tire shop is, there was a group of kids coming down that hill to cross that street, and nobody would stop for them. So can we have a painted crosswalk?
Paint a crosswalk in there, since that is, I think we can probably get it done, but we have to get permission from the YDOT because it's a part of state.
Because
crossing
that would
there.
really help. Because, kids want to go there, and they live everywhere, so you just want to make
Unfortunately,
sure that they're
since
safe.
It doesn't have stop signs there, like the four-way stop
Yeah.
is, but pedestrians do have a right-of-way under state law, but if we can talk to Wyoming DOT and the
Yeah, we
director
want our
for our
babies
area
safe.
with that's in Douglas about if we can get maybe some crosswalks there where Fifth Street comes across.
Yeah, any
Right there.
place where to get to it, because you want people to pay attention, and most people don't. They just keep right on driving. I stopped and I got out in the street and made people stop.
and that's a tough
yeah.
place too for those kids to cross because it's kind of a blind spot with the parked cars.
Yep.
So they slow down, but it's tough for the kiddos to get across.
Yeah,
So maybe that would, if we could.
we want them
We'll
safe.
make contact with DOT and see what we can do.
That would be
Because the
That would be
DOT
fabulous.
is the one that paints the crosswalks at the four-way stop.
right. Well, that would be a
Both
nice
that
place.
portion are
All the way
state
around
highways,
it,
so
the whole perimeter.
We just have to get their blessing first.
Yeah, well, I know you have to have on 4th and Birch, but because that's highway. But any place else where the perimeter around it, so that people will pay attention.
The kids are using the pathway a lot, and I've noticed just watching.
Yes, they have. I noticed that too.
People seeing those kids come up to those intersections, that we might be able to get all of our signs back up again and see how long we can have a
Nothing lost.
lottery on how long it takes for them, some of them get run over again, but
Yeah.
people have been very aware of the kids coming up that are headed towards Town Square to go play and be in the splash.
Well,
pad. And people are stopping all over town along the pathway there. I've been impressed about how people are
I
making.
really had to stop my car, serious, and get out and walk to the other lane so people, those kids, there was like 6 or 7 of them, so they could cross the street. That's stupid when people won't, come on, this is Glen Rock. But anyway, if we can take care of that, I'd appreciate it. And anybody wants to come, the invitation's open. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other items from the floor? If not, we'll move on to new business. First item of new business is the liquor license renewals. We have KRT Enterprises, which is the Deer Creek Lounge, Doug's Kitchen, Classic Cafe, Charles Dean Henderson, Naughty Pine Saloon, Gary Eckhart, Glen Rock Bowl, Glen Rock Golf Club, Kevin Tate, Shoreliner. We have the Wyoming Herd LLC, which is the Higgins Hotel. And we have Cowboy State Brewing for Cowboy State Brewing, and then Cowboy State Brewing for doing business as the Four Aces. So if it's council's pleasure whether or not you want to make a motion to approve all of them at once, or if you'd like to do them one at a time, if there's any discussion on any of them in there. So I will request a motion to be made on the floor.
I move that we approve all the liquor license renewals together.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? It's like Colter said last week, they did their busting to see if they could get bartenders to sell to juveniles, and nobody failed the test. week or so ago, so that's a good thing to have happen in your town. So, especially just before renewal. So, if there's not any other questions or concerns, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is the 24-hour malt beverage permits for Main Street. The first one is for August 5th. Second one is for August 12th. Third one is for August 19th. And the last one is August 26th for Friday night at the Square. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve these 24-hour alcohol beverage sales for the town square.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Why are they 24-hour ones?
Actually, it's marked, but it's actually what's supposed to be stated as just the malt beverage, because if it was 24, we'd need a liquor. We'd have to have a liquor license, a bar there to do when you do the 24 hour. That 24 hours catering permit. This is just a malt liquor.
I think they're all for 24. I mean, they can be for 24 hours. You just have to mark whether you want the catering or the malt beverage.
Malt
And
beverage
they
further
each
down the
require
page, there at the
different
bottom of the first page. So,
Basically for the month of August, for
Yeah,
Friday
basically,
night.
yes.
Friday nights.
So, any other discussion? So, for the malt beverage permits, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business with that is for the same events. The first one would be, it's for open container in the square for August 5th, August 12th, August 19th, and August 26th. For the open containers. So is there a motion?
I move we approve open container permits for the month of August.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there? Yeah, motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So you got to do both?
Actually, really, what? Usually
Yes.
it's inferred that you would have open container, but to be legal, we should be doing it each time that you do both of them.
Yeah.
You have
Just
to
to
have
cover
the
your
liquor.
bases.
The malt beverage is to sell the malt beverage. The open container is to be able to have it outside. If it was inside, you wouldn't need to have that.
Is that statute? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems overwhelming.
Yeah, but like
Things you have to do to
if we
appro-
have like the Ducks Unlimited, when they have the Ducks Unlimited at the rec center,
Yeah.
they have it inside, but they have a bar, so they sell liquor. They have to have the liquor permit, but they don't need open container because they don't take it outside.
Gotcha.
So
Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries.
Need a rubber stamp.
Ding. Well, we could make this last about an hour and a half. We do individually. The next order of business is ordinance number 735, an ordinance approving the final plat of Metal Arc Edition number 2, passed and approved and adopted on the third. This is third and final reading on the 11th day of July 2022. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance for the final plat of Metal Arc Edition number 2.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded twice. Is there any discussion on this? If you haven't been here before, what that is we've broke the ground up out there that was in the part of the subdivision, what used to be A Square and Sharps. We've developed some more lots there for economic development by the town of Glen Rock for businesses in the future. We'll be installing, under when we have budget money to get it done, we'll install some more utilities there. Water's there already, sewer's already there. We'll have to bring the power in through that to get to those lots along in that cul-de-sac in that new street. But it's something that where we can entice and maybe, do some land work and for something, if somebody's got skin in the game that wants to come in here and build a business and help them out and get them going. Was the idea is to help with economic development, help our GEDC group. That's information they can give out there for in the future, that there's lots available at a very discounted price if we can help them out. So it's another one of the things for the strategic plan for the future. It's another idea that we came up with and thought, let's utilize the property better. So, any other discussion on that?
What's going to happen to the old paint plant?
That's actually on a lot, and we've had two different groups. One asking, they haven't been back about doing recycling there, but they haven't been back to us. And there is another trucking company that would like to lease it, and we said we could probably lease it for a while, but we would rather sell the property and put it back
down that road, right?
Yeah. But I would rather, we can help them out and do something that helps them get into a building and do something for their trucking company. I think we're all more than willing to do something that'll help a business here in town, in the area. So that's the purpose of this replatting of the Meadowlark Edition number 2. If there's no other discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is our bills and claims. Is there a motion to pay them?
I move we pay our bills and claims.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. If there's nothing else to come before the council in this meeting this evening, I would ask somebody to entertain. I thought you raised your hand. I thought, whoa, she's playing with her hair.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I'm sitting back here being
Sold, right?
Sold, yeah. But if not, I ask somebody to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.